This is one of the reasons I like to support local mom and pop shops. This stuff is my haul today. It came from a little gun shop called Pinto's Guns, and they buy estates. And a lot of times have some really cool stuff that's older stuff that you can't buy anymore, like these old reloading manuals. I got this Lyman manual from the 1970s. Copyright date 1970. It's got some cool old load data in here that you can't buy anymore. The current books just don't have this kind of data. I got an older Hornady book. Paid $3 for the Lyman, $5 for the Hornady. I got an older Spear reloading manual. 1987, $5. I got an older Nollister manual. 1989, $5. I got an old Lee melting pot, or I don't know if it's Lee, but it's an old melting pot. I don't know if it works. I'm going to take a chance on that. $15. I got 1,000 gas checks for 44 Magnum, $5. $2 for these various gas checks, and then some 30 caliber gas checks, 200 of them for $2. So that's my haul from one of the local FFLs, and that's one reason I like to support the little mom and pop shops. You just never know what you're going to find there. Alright, so this melting pot that I got, this lead pot, it's got some lead and some old crud stuck in there. So I'm just going to run a wire wheel around the inside of it, get it cleaned up, see if it works. Quite a bit of crud that it loosened up. Looking better already. Oh yeah, that loosened up anything that was left in there. Got it all nice and clean now. Got quite a bit of crud out of there. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in now and see if it gets hot. Alright, so now I've got it pretty clean inside. So now I'm going to plug it in and see if it works. What I did was take a wire wheel around the inside and just have at it and get it really clean. Alright, got it all cleaned out. Now we're going to plug it in and see what happens. Okay, well that's a good sign. Nothing sparked or blew my breaker or anything. Go ahead and give it a few minutes and see if it heats up. So the lead pot's not heating up. It's got to be the element or something to do with this power cord. So it's such an older basic unit. We'll just go ahead and open her up and see if we can figure it out. Can't be much wrong with it, if anything. Okay. The element doesn't look bad, or I can't see that it's burnt anywhere. The wires are attached. This is a very old unit. If all else fails, what I'll do is I'll just set this pot right on top of a propane burner. If I can't get this working, it's still worth the $15 just for the lead pot. Okay, now we'll do some investigating. More than likely, it's probably something to do with the cord that's bad. I'm going to go ahead and tear into this cord now and see if we got good connection inside the cord. Alright, looks like it's going to be a bad cord. This is what I found inside. Both wires, just like that. All the pieces were all falling apart and broke up inside, and it's all hot and burnt. Everything looks like it's been real hot and burned off. I'm going to go ahead and put some ends on there and plug it in, and this thing hopefully should work. Okay, this is strictly for an experiment only. If it works, I'll run down to the hardware store and try to find an end for this thing. Home Depot or Lowe's probably don't have it, but I'll run down to the mom and pop hardware store and pick one up and put it on. I don't recommend this as a permanent fix. This is just to see if we can get the element to heat up. Doing this, something like this, you come in, and if you're not doing it just as a temporary fix, the place will be on fire if you're not careful. So again, just a temporary fix. All right, well, the bad news is I wasn't able to find this piece at the local True Value, and I'm pretty sure Lowe's or Home Depot, they're a joke when it comes to finding older stuff like this. I'll probably find it at McLendon. And these were just wire connectors. They weren't right for going on these posts. But the good part of it is I did get all the stuff to rebuild the cord except this part. But for now, what I'm going to do is I got these. These are a little better for the job. And these should fit onto the end of this post fairly snug. Yes, they fit really well. So what I'm going to do is take the old cord, and this is old cord, it's got fabric inside, this is really old. I'm going to take this and put these wire nuts on the end and then hook it up here, and it should be good to use. Okay. Go ahead and wire these on. Again, just like before, not really something I would recommend as a permanent fix. It's a great short-term fix. I would not recommend leaving it plugged in unattended like this, but it should be fine until I get the cord rebuilt. All right, let's plug it in and heat it up. Let's start melting some lead. Plan on making some ingots with it today. Yep, it's already getting warm. I'll start melting the lead and show you how I'm going to make the ingots. All right, now I got some pure lead here. Just going to drop it in. Start melting that down. We'll see how it melts. See how this little lead pot does. That's pure lead right there from an x-ray room. This lead is from a forklift weight. I'm going to mix a little bit of this forklift weight with that x-ray lead to make my ingots. All right, I was able to break off a piece of that forklift weight. I'll throw it in there with the pure weight. I think this forklift weight's not 100% pure lead. I think it's like kind of like made out of stuff tire weights is made out of, some lead, some other materials. Melt that down in there with the x-ray weights or the x-ray sheets. All right, I'm getting ready to make ingots, so I'm going to put a little piece of flux in there to separate it, to separate out all the junk. That little bit of flux is going to bring everything to the surface and clump it all up together so that it can skim right off. Skim right off, no problem when you got flux on it. Separates out perfectly and comes right off. A flux was given to me by a friend of mine. I really appreciate it. That's an organic flux, by the way. Now I'm going to go ahead and make some ingots. See how it separates? Everything comes right to the top with that fluxing agent. Now you can skim it right off. Okay, now I'm going to make a couple little ingots here, and then I'm going to call it a day on this. I'm going to use what lead's left. Now I'm new to casting, so none of this is conventional. This is my first time making ingots with any lead, so not all of these tools are conventional. I took some advice from some reloading buddies and swung by the second-hand store and got a muffin pan and some other utensils to make my ingots out of. Pretty simple. Now I've got some ingots there, and I'll pop them out in a second. Alright, well, this was my first experience making ingots. Somebody told me to use a muffin pan. It worked. However, it was not easy on the pan, but it did make a nice ingot. And I just basically wanted to show off my $15 lead pot from a mom and pop shop that I know about here locally. And the other thing is, I will not be doing this inside anymore. This was my first time doing this on my own. I used my buddy's casting equipment one other time, so this is my first time casting. And I just wanted to show off the pot and the rebuilt Chord. Thanks for watching.